good evening, all my little bun buns. Daisy here with you tonight. Let me adjust myself a little more. That's better. Well, it's going to be another thoughts video tonight, and specifically, it's thoughts about another movie in the Star Wars series. Now, I've talked about all of the main 9, but there were at least a couple other movies that can be talked about. One of which I'm going to talk about tonight, and it's actually one I really liked. Probably my second favorite Star Wars movie, even. That's right. I rank this right up there, close to Empire Strikes Back in movies that I liked in Star Wars. And I know a lot of people probably actually have skipped it because why would you watch that? It's not a main one. No. But I have it physically out since, well, it's not a combo package like my 1 through 6 is, which would have been me holding up the same package for 2 videos. But Rogue One. Okay. Now, as I'm losing my boa, can't look unfun for you. So, Rogue One was kind of supposed to be a in-between episodes 3 and 4. And by golly, I think they succeeded. Because 3 ended with very much okay, we made Vader. And we killed the Jedi. Now what? How do we get from that to a Death Star and the entire galaxy basically subjugated? Well, they didn't quite go all the way through the subjugation stuff. And to be fair, I think Rebels kind of also helped with that gap bridging phase there, which is good. Especially since they had a, Bridger being the name of the character. But Rogue One actually filled in a lot of holes. Ones that had been plaguing the setup for ages. Since the beginning. How did we get there? Literally, how did we get to right there? So, there will probably be spoilers, just a warning. This movie, I really feel, did a great job of having characters you cared about enough to want to follow along with their game, follow along with their story, and see what was going to happen. But knowing all too well, you are going to lose all of them. Everybody. Everybody. Good guys, bad guys, and even Steve from Long Island. Just kidding on that. There was no Steve from Long Island. That's a drawn together quote. So, yeah. It was probably quoting something else that I don't recognize. So, that's all I'm quoting. I'm quoting a quote or quote of quoting quote. Anyway, all the main characters I felt were more than adequately likable. I felt this boat really doesn't want to play nicely on sitting down camera. I liked them enough that I wanted to keep seeing them on screen, but I wasn't going to be depressed when I ended up losing any of them. The main hero girl, I actually don't remember any of their names. Like, legit forget all their names. But that's okay, I remember them. We had a lot of good stuff go on. Only a few parts that I thought were kind of, why did you do that? Why movie? Why did you decide to do this? But mostly involving with when the Imperial pilot decided to switch over sides, the fact they were torturing him and stuff. I'm like, okay, that just went a little too far. And setting him up with some kind of squid mind reading critter that's going to mess him up. I don't Now, let him surrender and give you information. That's what we should do here. No, we're gonna make it weird. We're gonna make it weird. Otherwise, I really liked the movie. I liked the main bad guy character, the Imperial officer guy. I felt he did a good job of being pompous and controlling of the entire situation. Um, I liked how he was really trying to be in control of the Death Star's construction. Uh, I loved a lot of the good visuals. Um, the Death Star rising up over planets a few times before they got to go kaboom on them to some extent. Usually just enough to eliminate whatever section they were looking at, not blow the planet up, just use one reactor apparently and kind of level a playing field. Also, that on the former Jedi Temple planet, they had a Star Destroyer just hovering over the city with transport ships going up and down. That was cool looking. That was bad arse cool looking. Having a Star Destroyer just kind of hanging out, in planet. So cool. Um, did a good job incorporating another another rebel type fighter transport shippy thing. It's a V-wing. That's what they called it. I have it on the X-wing miniatures back there somewhere too, because they made one of those. It was fair enough. I mean, you basically, if you're going to have a small troop going around space, you need a car for everybody to be in. This made for a good car. It was your Millennium Falcon. It was your Dash Render's Outrider. It was your Rebels Ghost. It was your car. You needed it. You had it. It looked decent. It looked like it fit in the universe. It felt nice. In fact, it felt a little nicer than some of the other options we've had. Like, actually felt more, you know, possible than, say, the Millennium Falcon or Boba Fett's Slave One or a few other ships that I'm not saying they were bad. More along the lines of, felt more like we were in a small ship, not something that was way bigger than needed to be or way more combat-y than needed to be. It felt like a transport that had combat capability. And it did a good job of looking cool in the process. Also, we had a really cool droid that was a former Imperial droid they captured and reprogrammed, and he was snarky as all get out, and that was awesome. He talked back constantly. He was cool. We had interactions at Yavin 4. I probably pronounce it wrong, but that's the way I always said it. With the rebels that were involved in Episode 4, this being their home base that gets attacked in that movie. Spoiler for that movie. That's from 1977. So if you haven't seen it yet, dude, catch up. That's 43 years ago. But we had a cool look at Yavin 4 a few times. Little tie-in spoiler bonus. The ghost, seen just to the side of my ear there on the top shelf, from Rebels was actually parked in the shuttle pad area outside. So we caught views of that. That was actually pretty neat. Kind of proud of spotting something like that. Also adds a little more tie into everything, makes things feel more together. I like that. We had a lot of cool interactions with the rebels on Yavin. Mon Mothma, they had another actress come in and play her, because I think the original was either too old or kind of not alive. I can't remember which. Uh, but that worked out great. We had her be present. Um, we had a Mon Calamari general be at that little gathering, and I felt they did a better job here almost than Admiral Akbar and his crew, because this one was definitely pro take the sword to the bad guys. He was very much, look, let's just F it all, let's actually attack. Seeing how the Mon Calamars are actually ones that brought a lot of the heavy cruisers to the rebellion, it does seem like, why were we being so passive with them when we could actually go out, go for the goal, actually go for an attack. Um, and he did get to be the one that helped make the attack on the planet where the Death Star plans were being held. He kind of sacrificed himself and his ship and a lot of other people, but he did go for the goal. He did try. Took out a couple Star Destroyers in the process too, which was great. And a Imperial planet section thing, research center, whatever it was. The environments were neat enough. I can't say all of them were great because you didn't spend a lot of time in some of these places, but the kind of stormy, rocky planet where where the hero girl meets her father for his last time, that was pretty darn cool looking. The planet where they rescue her out of the crawler, the wheeled tank thing, yeah, it's kind of eh. The desert planet was actually pretty cool for once, with the Star Destroyer hovering over the former Jedi Temple. Um, the planet where they start off and she's still a little girl and her dad gets recaptured by the Imperial bad guy. Pretty. It was a pretty planet. And the planet where the final battle occurs. Oh, it was just that right level of jungly, but not jungly, so you could see what was going on, but it still was all green and awesome looking. It looked pretty cool. Plenty of Imperial tech lying around, plenty of things to be nearby, but still enough greenery that it felt like you were on an awesome, weird planet. And of course, Yavin 4 was Yavin 4. Still looked like a Rebel hangar like it's supposed to. It felt right. Yeah, altogether, environments were great. Um, and we didn't really have any real Jedi on the hero team. I played a heavy gunner and a kind of force sensitive guy. That was our closest. And he was a blind guy too, so it added a little extra element of, he was just kind of using the force to get around in life in general, but not enough to be really a Jedi. Yeah, it was really neat. What else? This movie had a lot going on. It had a ton. Uh, oh, and the ending, total spoiler here. Uh, as they are getting ready they get the plans finally up to the cruiser, another Star Destroyer pops in. It's Darth Vader in his Star Destroyer. And he docks in with this cruiser and is like wrathing through it with his lightsaber. And they're trying to get the plans out to the docking bay to another ship to escape. As he's like totally massacring these soldiers, they finally slip it through a partially open doorway, run through, end up through another doorway, close the door behind them, mash the go away button, and effectively drop out of the cruiser just to bust into hyperspace with the plans now inside Uh, in Captain Antilles' uh, Rebel blockade runner, aka Corellian Corvette, Tantive 4, zipping out into hyperspace with Princess Leia on board. That the level of they actually tied it to the minute of before the beginning of episode 4. Awesome. They jump into hyperspace with the plans, which is the moment they jump out of hyperspace, and there's an Imperial Star Destroyer on their butts as episode 4 starts. It was awesome. And all of the sad ending with the Death Star shooting the planet to eliminate any evidence of what's happened there, trying to get rid of any extra copies of the plans, and watching everybody end up dying because, basically this wave of death energy is coming at you, and you're like, well, ain't no outrunning that. Uh, you're dead, kids. But you felt for them. You felt like you were happy to have had them along for the ride. You knew they were going to die. You were sad to see it happen, but it happened. And I don't think it could have happened any other way. The fact that we had good rivalry between the Imperial Admiralty guy that was building the Death Star and the one who ends up taking control of it, which was Grand Moff Tarkin. It was a really good off and on rivalry of politics and sorry, buddy. I don't think you've done a good enough job. I think I'm in charge now, and you're nothing but a footnote. So, yeah. It so filled in the gaps. It felt like it answered more questions than I thought I'd come into the movie with, and I was really happy with that. And to the point where they literally had threaded the needle to the minute of the end of beginning of the actual first movie from the end of this one. It felt like this was kind of like what we really wanted episode 3 to have ended on. Not Darth Vader coming up off the gurney going, no. That was not an ending as much as it was the movie got over. If anything, I think I would have liked episode 3 better if we would have had Darth Vader become Darth. No, not just getting his name. I mean, becoming Mechano Man before the movie got over, because then it would have felt more like we had to come to Darth Vader, not just we concluded at Darth Vader. This gave us some more time to actually have Darth Vader as Robo-Man being badass, all in small doses. He was barely in the movie, but anytime he was on screen, he was a power. He was a powerhouse. He was just like, force choke. I'm just gonna use this force stuff like nothing. We're gonna do this. I'm bad, and you deal. But really, I can't remember any of the characters' names besides like Darth Vader and Princess Leia and Grand Moff Tarkin, only because they were in other movies. uh, all the actual heroes and the villains that were new, pretty much everybody died. The final battle on the foresty planet with the data core place, amazing. We had land vehicles, we had walkers, we had fighters, both cool new TIE fighters we hadn't seen before, Rebel fighters, X-Wings, Y-Wings and stuff in there, all doing their thing, causing chaos. We took out Star Destroyers with mid-sized to smaller cruisers, effectively. It was phenomenal. It had power. It had everything. And it was in a relatively short Star Wars movie. Um, it is a very good watch. It is one I will watch many more times over, and I recommend it wholeheartedly. Especially if you're a fan of the original one. Especially if you watched everything else. Make sure to squeeze this one in. It fills in so many holes that more holes than I thought that they had. It's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, we didn't answer where, wow, that filled in that gap and that gap, and it just squeezes so much together. Anyway, I think I have given this movie enough praise for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed me babbling on happily about Rogue One. This bunny approves of Rogue One. That's the girl that's the leader, the head cool person. Those people were all in it. And that guy, he's the bad guy down there. And that guy, he was kind of creepy. Bad guy. Creepy guy. Girl who's the movie's theoretically all about. Them other people that were in it. Fighters and stuff. The cool android on the bottom. He was fun. All in all, yeah. It's a ride. Let's see if I can read the time frame on it, how long it was off the back. Trying to read through blurry vision, that was hard. Anyway, that wasn't very long. It was pretty short. Don't think it was over 2 hours. Yeah. So, thank you for spending some time with this bun talking about a silly movie that I really loved. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the little dingly bell for it to let you know when I post new videos. If you feel like commenting, please comment about whether you saw the movie, how you felt about it. Did you have an opinion? I'd like to know. And of course, my Patreon link is in the description box below. If you feel so inclined, I appreciate anything donated. It does help support me and the channel, and it helps me make you better videos, spending more time doing this stuff than doing other stuff. Anyway, thank you for watching. That's the most important part. And sharing the video with anyone else that you think might enjoy it. And hope to see you all on a future video. For now, stay hoppy, stay fluffy, stay feathery, stay whatever you are, and be happy. And I'll see you again on another video. For now, keep bunny.